Hi everyone, this is Ellie. The Mission City at War event is now out. Make sure to check the event duration in your own time zone. Per usual, I'll have the link to the official patch notes announcement in the description. So let's get started. If we go into the event main screen, first you can switch between the story and the exploration modes at the bottom right here. Right here, this button here of the main event screen, and that'll get you to where you need to be. If we go to the story mode first, it's nothing complicated this time. You can choose any order of the male leads as you wish, but Kales will only be unlocked after you complete all the other routes. And then the currency for story progression is this charge cube thing that you can get from the stamina farming stages, which then you can access in exploration mode here. So first, stamina farming is accessible through the bounty center here. There are 3 different types of enemies. They drop different currency. First, if we go left to right, the one on the left drops the charge cube, which I mentioned was the currency needed to advance in the event story, and also the special canned fish, which is the advanced shop currency. Of note, this time the shop does include 2 different levels. One is the basic one, and one is the advanced one. So the special canned fish is for the advanced shop, and then the middle enemy here also drops the charge cubes, but this one drops the energy sodas, which is the basic shop currency. And then the enemy on the left here drops only the shop currency and none of the story progression charge cubes. So the recommendation is to first clear everything and then farm the middle stage, the middle enemy, highest difficulty possible until you full clear the event story and then unlock the advanced shop. And then after that, you can farm the right enemy here, difficulty 3, for shop currency. And per usual, for example, if we go here, per usual, certain Illustras do carry bonus drops, but these will be different across the different stages. So make sure to actually check up here. Again, you can also check by just clicking on your team and it'll pop up on the top. Also, make sure to grab the Kale SR from the event shop before you start grinding, as it does also carry a bonus. Now moving on to the event shop, it's the supply station here. So first, again, remember to exchange for Clarence SSR here, and then you can switch between the basic and the advanced shops up here, tabs on the top. To unlock the advanced shop, you need to upgrade the shop, and you can do so bottom right here, right? And you need to collect 2,000 charge cubes to unlock this. And then exchange priority, usually again Kale SR, then your paints and event profile items, whatever you need, event Pictura, skill packs. Although I have to mention that the Pictura EXP this time is not worth it, and if you need the Pictura EXP, just farm the regular Pictura stages, so the practice ones, not the event stages. If we go back here, the Void device here is the challenge mode for this event. This will become available on the 3rd day of the event. Again, per usual, I'll provide more information on it in the pinned comment when this mode releases. So now if we look at the gacha, per usual, we have the rate up choice function. I already used it, but it's right here. If you wish for an SR, that one will be guaranteed in the first 10 pull. If you wish for an SSR and guaranteed, the first event SSR you get is the one you choose. Specific rates are listed in the details here. So all the following comments are made from a meta or combat standpoint. I do want to point out that I've compiled and organized a Notion site where you can find all of my guides. This link will be in the description along with our community Discord server link. So first, if we go alphabetical order, first Alkaid's Remnants of Battle. This is a solid to strong single target support that deals good damage and has good utility, although I consider this Illustra single target damage dealer. It has high base attack and a solid ult damage multiplier, but HP and defense are relatively mediocre and low. Skill priority wise, you would max 1, then raise 2 as preferred. Something to note about 2 is that it is useful, but even max level requires some team coordination or some luck, basically, because see, the resurrection on skill 2 is I believe 40% at level 1 and then 58% at max level. So do be cautious about that. It's a trade-off between the resources invested and the small increase in probability. If you're okay with that, you can level it. Enlightenment priority is mid or mid to high, usually just because AoE is higher priority than single targets, but this does have a high base attack and solid ult damage multiplier. And it's probably the most worthwhile Alkaid single target damage dealer you would invest in for enlightenments. So you can consider fading enlightenments, but again, not recommended if you're short on resources, and you can stack additional copies. In terms of team comp, it's a versatile support that also deals good single target damage. You can pair with effect hit rate buffing Illustras if you want skill 2 to proc more reliably, and then you can also consider putting in slot 1 to take advantage of the crit damage ult, crit damage buff ult effect, but it's generally not necessary. Then moving on to Clarence's Blade of the Falcon. So this is a niche, I would say, single target damage dealer that provides minimal team utility, but is pretty tanky itself. It has a very low base attack, but solid ult damage multiplier, high base HP and defense. So usually I think it performs as a counter to specific enemies, just not very versatile. Skill priority wise, max 2. And basically, this ult effect allows it to ignore enemy dodge for 2 turns. That's what the precision is. It ignores enemy dodge for 2 turns and deals single target damage. And so, really, the alignment priority is low because, first of all, AoE greater than single target priority. Also, it's mostly used for its ult effect, which is sufficient at level 1. But you can consider feeding alignments, but not recommended if you're short on resources, and you can stack additional copies. In terms of team comp, I feel like the only optimal time to use this Illustra is against enemies that dodge in high difficulty content, and no positional preference, although single target usually after AoE Illustras. In terms of the Pictura this time, this event's 3-star Pictura is not increase initial ult charge, so from a combat standpoint it's not worth pulling, but again, they are very cute, and if you want to pull for art or collection, you may do so. Very cute. So that'll be all for the video. Please like and subscribe.